Alright there, peasants, I am Freyn, and today I have another T-34 replay for you. This is a tank I play fairly often, as it's one of those that if I have a bad start to the day, or I feel I need a bit of a warm-up, it's one I can play fairly well without having to put too much attention into it. Now, here I am playing on 38th parallel, and it is conquest mode. That's really important for this game and why I've chosen this game. It's not one where I have an exceptionally high amount of kills. It's not one where I think I make any crazily impressive plays. And honestly, there's some quite boring sections in it that I'm probably just going to have to fill out with random rambling. But there is a reason I've chosen this game to make a video for, and you'll see why as it goes along. But initially now I am working my way around the west. I don't particularly like to go straight to the cap, especially when it's fairly exposed like it is. So instead I'm coming around here up into this this, I like to call it the donut on the hill here, so that I can try and cut off any people who might be flanking or going for the higher ground to overlook the cap. I'm just going to sit around the corner. The idea there being that if I was already out and looking forwards, the enemy might see me and not come around as a result. I should be able to aim up quicker than them if they do turn up, so I'm okay with taking that risk. But the Calliope has moved forwards instead, so obviously that plan isn't going to work, and it's time to move up. I was initially here going to go and overlook the cap myself, but the T-34's not got great gun depression. It should be enough to still shoot down, but I am also going to be very exposed there. There's not much cover from this side. So instead, I'm going to pull back and decided I'll work my way along the D line. I'll cross the river and I'll go up and I'll try and sort of dig out anyone who might be sitting up in those hills trying to snipe. Obviously this is a replay, so the nameplates wouldn't normally be there. I didn't see that F2 over the bridge, which I probably should have, but it is obviously much easier to notice when doing the replay. Do however see that Stug 3G there, driving towards the cap, and just quick side shot, knock him out, and keep going. The F2 obviously didn't see me either, fortunately. So let's continue to cross the river here. Get the back of a Panzer 3M. One shot takes out the whole crew, driving machine gunner included. T-34's gun, pretty good punch to it. So again, just going to work my way up. Not going to drive along this road as it's pretty exposed. Just going to work my way to the next one and drive along there. There's probably going to be a few snipers. They won't be expecting someone to turn up in their side, but I should be alright. They did get a decap, but we've still got someone around it. We are taking it back, so it looks alright. It looks like I've got time to work my way behind them. Every time I pass a gap, going to stop and see if I can spot anything driving towards the cap. Nothing yet. Now, this next spot, maybe not the greatest. It's still fairly exposed and not the easiest to pull back from. But it's also not somewhere that people will look to often, because the hill itself is roughly the same height as the rocks around it. And I can just sort of perch on top and get a look. I've got a good view on the cap from here, if nothing else. Still, see the 4G and the F2 crossing there, the 4G and winter camo being the more obvious. And I didn't manage to get a shot on the F2 before he went behind the rock. So I had no choice but to go for the 4G. And managed to get him. didn't see the other 4G on the cap there, despite him being just off to the right of my crosshair. And I can't see the Stug either, unfortunately. So I'm just waiting for that F2 I saw to come back into view. He is definitely heading towards the cap. Almost in view now, but just not enough to take the shot. So look back, there we go, see the 4G finally. They have already got the cap, so he's going to have spawn points either way. Take him out, shot to the rear of the turret. Still looking for the F2, there he is. Gone behind the tents, just waiting for him to come back out into view. There's the movement, fire from the binoculars, and knock him out as well. Now, I don't want to stay in one spot for too long, people will be respawning, they know where I am. So, let's keep moving along, see if we can find anyone else. Now, at this stage, if we just check the scoreboard here, you'll see the enemy's lost 3 players permanently, and we've lost, well, considerably more. We're down by 9. So this... Oh, we're down by 9 and we've got 3 on respawn. But there now, more on respawn. This is currently 3v13. So, we are massively behind. And I really need to get back into the fight. I've been out too long flanking around. Haven't been getting involved. It's cost my team... Well, not necessarily that's cost my teammates and players, but I could have prevented 1 or 2 of them, I suspect. And it might really punish us later on. So I'm starting to work my way to cap, finally. Again, didn't see that Gepard there, despite him being right in the middle of my binoculars. But, never mind, let's keep moving towards the cap. We'll be fairly exposed moving on to it here. There's not much cover, and I will have my back towards anything that is still camping on that ridge. But I don't have much choice. If I'm to hope for any comeback from this game, I need to stop this ticket bleed. I'm pretty sure that I'll be dying quite a bit and having to come back, and that takes a while, especially if there's enemies between me and the cap. So the more tickets we have to give me time, the better. Taking the decap. And I'm not going to stay on it, I'm not going to recap it, because as you can see, someone's already found me. And do I really want to sit where everybody knows exactly where I am? So instead, I'm just going to use it as bait for a little bit. I'll cap it soon, but for now, I'm just going to try and bait them out. But if we look at the scoreboard now, I'm the only one alive. It's 1v13. I've got 5 kills, but 5 is not going to be enough in this situation. It's 1v13. Pretty sure this is not going to go my way. So, let's just use the cap as bait and try and get as many kills as we can. Heard an engine here. See that F2 driving out and take a shot. I've tucked myself in between the rocks. While it's not the stealthiest position, if I had bushes on my tank, obviously it would make me far less visible. But it's a nice tank-sized hole in between these rocks, and I'm less likely to be spotted. Especially if I stay perfectly still. I'm just going to sit here, wait. Just checking for any signs of movement. There are a few planes up, which obviously it's probably less than ideal because bombs tend to be one of my more common bombs of death. But it does mean they can't come back and recap. Anyway, there's a whirlwind there. I shot a little too low, thinking that the terrain there was actually his hull due to the colouring. But knock out his breach, so he's not going to be able to shoot back. Just too late to block the cap. I can see the other whirlwind peeking on the side. Really shouldn't have shot on the move there, that threw my shot off quite a bit. But this whirlwind isn't going to have enough gun depression for me, so I'll shoot. Only got his loader, not really significant damage. I'll finish that one. That's taking him off the cap, I can decap it now. Let's just try and keep on the move. I hear the bombs coming there. I'm up to 8 kills now. And let's get around. Whirlwind obviously didn't realise what I was doing. So 9 kills, and let's try and get back onto the cap. Quite clearly been seen, and I can see these streams of fire coming out here. It's only a flak panzer and a Gepard, so they can still pen me in the rear, but it's unlikely. Certainly at that range, I should be safe. They're all capable of penning me at close range. German AAs are still quite deadly when hitting the right spots. Just managed to get far enough away from the bomb there. See this other whirlwind coming in. And more bombs. I was quite far away from that, but it's still got my tracks. And so I'm just going to sit here, obviously repairing, and take out another Werbel. That's 12 kills. But, having a look at the scoreboard, there's a few guys on respawn there. I'm still the only one, and it is slowly pulling back. There's less of them alive now. Still, not really the odds in my favour. Get shot from my own spawn. I guess that's what happened to the last ally who tried to come back. Fortunately, he missed his second shot, and I managed to get behind cover. So, I'm going to go back to that first spot. It worked. Pretty sure none of the guys I killed from there are going to be coming back to me. And again, I'm fairly hard to spot, and they can only come from in front of me. So, not really any chance of me being ambushed. I can hear quite a few planes up on the enemy team, and I really need to stay still. Try and avoid any chance of them just dropping bombs on me, because if they land a bomb in front, that one was fairly far off. I think he was just going for a general anywhere on the cap. But if they land one in front of me, I am fairly doomed, because there's no way that I can drive over it and out in time, and I can't back up. It's not a perfect spot, but it's more about staying still and staying hidden. T-34 does blend in fairly well there. Ticket is in my favour now. Just see this F2. I didn't really want to shoot through that tower. All the random bits of metal could take my shot, and then I'm going to die. So just wait for him to come back out and get him again in one. See all these planes flying over. Another F2 coming to cap there. But a plane has just pinged me, so he knows where I am now. Fortunately, he still had his turret turned, and I managed to get him before he could swing his gun around. But they do know where I am now. At least one plane does. And there are quite a few still up. Still, tickets are bleeding down. They shouldn't really be able to get it back in this time. There is more I could do. I should probably go and sit and block the cap, but at this stage I'm just trying to stay alive. Now, ultimately, I think, 1v13 victory should never happen. This is just entirely because the enemy team hasn't communicated enough. I've killed several people from the same spot. At least one of them should have pinged them up and gone, there he is, go get him. If they attack the point as a group, they would easily be able to dig me out. but they just haven't. So, you know, obviously you can see now why I chose this replay. But that's the end, and I hope you've learned something, I hope you've enjoyed watching, and I will see you next time. I've been Freyn, and this was just silly.